Trinidad Chambliss will be back at Ole Miss next year. He was granted an injunction of sorts, a temporary restraining order of sorts, so he'll be back. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you what we're going to talk about later. Let's dive into this because it's important. It's important to the future of college sports. But if you take it by case basis, I might be with Chambliss on this one. I wasn't with Bediako. I'm not with that. Let's keep giving him eligibility. I might be with Chambliss on this one. So let's dive into it. I'm going to try to rehash what I understand, and I'm going to question what I don't understand. What I do understand is that the judge went to Ole Miss, got his law degree from there. So do with that what you will. But in other terms, Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss's lawyer, they sue in local court over the contract, over the NCAA essentially denying a signed contract that Trinidad Chambliss had already signed, basically saying he was coming back. So the NCAA says you can't come back. So they're going to sue and say, we signed a contract already. So they're suing in local court over the contract instead of suing in federal court over antitrust laws. And then you get into the weeds with, eligibility going from D2 to NCAA, from JUCO to NCAA. There's a lot more weeds there. It's a tougher shell to crack, tougher hair to untangle, if you will. So they instead go Ole Miss law degree judge in local court and sue because they already signed a contract. Okay, if you're following, I hope you are, because I'm not necessarily the most knowledgeable on all these court cases. See, and a lot of people are upset with this case because at face value, it's the same case that everything else is. Like with Bediako, this guy goes and plays pro and wants more eligibility in college. Trinidad Chambliss, at face value, wants more eligibility in college. I understand wanting those spots to go to like high school athletes that deserve a shot at the next level instead of giving sixth, seventh, and eighth and ninth year seniors another year of eligibility. But why I say I might be with Chambliss on this one is because if you go back to when he was at Ferris State, I believe this all happened at Ferris State. So freshman year, and maybe don't quote me, but this is what I believe is true. I believe his freshman year he redshirts. Okay, so we burned one red shirt there. The next year, I do not think he redshirted, but he did not dress for any games. He didn't play. And it was documented that he had like tonsillitis and some other illness that the lawyers claimed he like couldn't sleep well, couldn't breathe well. It affected his conditioning and he couldn't play and it brought his skill level down to where he wasn't able to get on the field. So now they're retroactively going back and say, "Hey, he should be granted a medical red shirt because we have it documented that he couldn't play. So you guys need to grant him this medical red shirt so we can get another year of eligibility because he deserves it." Okay? Now, where the Trinidad Chambliss case differs from Vanderbilt's Diego Pavia and the Joey Aguilar at Tennessee is their whole eligibility revolves around the COVID year, uh, counting or not counting, and their JUCO counting towards their 4 years. Like, I don't know, okay? What I know is that it's chaos. What I know is that I do think, if granting him a medical red shirt, I guess, Chambliss I'm talking about, is correct, probably. Now, I don't know if you can retroactively go back and give him that red shirt, or if this truly is just suing the NCAA because you signed a contract already. What is that? Oh, oh, look at these Zoom features. Oh, yeah, he hates it. Boo, boo, eligibility. We hate eligibility. All right. So, what about No, okay, that one's not gonna work. We're gonna have to blur that one out. Clearly does not work. All right. Yeah, Trini, my boy Trini, he'll be back. Now let's talk about what this means for Ole Miss. I'm no Ole Miss fan, not a Texas fan either. Let's iron that out. I'm I'm Gator. I'm a defending national champion. Okay, this is high school, so don't get it twisted. This is the Kel Longhorns, not the Texas Longhorns. So like don't call me a Texas homer. That's not true. But let's talk about my boy Trinidad Chambliss. What does this mean for Ole Miss? I feel like the emotions surrounding Ole Miss, they were like kind of in the gutter, no? Um, Not because their next year's team was going to be bad. It was just kind of saying, hey, we like you have Deuce Knight, who probably won't even end up there. But if you didn't get Trinidad left, you're like your next quarterback ain't gonna be as good because Trinidad's really good. Pete Golding, I really like, but this gives so much mojo back to that program. I mean, like I just imagine Trinidad showing back up in the locker room, everyone just going berserk. They feel like this team can do exactly what they did last year, compete for a national championship. So, sucks that Florida has to play Ole Miss next year, and they're gonna have Chambliss. I mean, that changes the way teams are looking at Ole Miss on their schedule. They're now scared again. Instead of Ole Miss as an opportunity, now you see Ole Miss on your schedule and you're like, Trinidad's back. This is a serious problem. We might lose. Because the dude can absolutely hoop.